This is TWiT.
Oh, this is sad. Sports Illustrated.
I mean, there's so much sad media news that has happened.
It's a pile-on, isn't it? Another reason you should be really glad to be working for a company that has a financial strategy that makes sense. You know, we're seeing this too on TWiT. I mean, there's definitely an adpocalypse going on, and it's affecting. If it's affecting Sports Illustrated, you better believe it's affecting us.
Yeah.
And
it feels like it's only just beginning. And
I don't get it, frankly, because the economy's fine. I don't understand what's happening.
Do you think that they're I've debated whether this is going to happen at some point. This is not going to be a happy speculation. But do you think that they think they don't need to advertise nearly as much anymore?
Well,
they can have direct relationships.
Yeah, if you're, we've been saying this for a long time, that companies really should be going to have direct relationships with their customers. Alex Lindsay said 10 years ago, he was talking about QuickTime. That's how long ago this was on the Apple. The companies should be making their own videos. LL Bean or REI should have, how-to camping videos for people who are, crazy about camping. And everything that's a product that they sell should be clickable. Well, that tent looks good. And you can click it, and it would show you the tent and draw you to it. And that was 10 years ago. He was saying that should happen. He said that's going to happen. He might be right. There is a role of influencers here that I'm not sure I like, because influence is a two-way street. And if you are an influencer, like you're a YouTube, I mean, I'm an early influencer, I think, but you have to be really careful. Fortunately, I come from a more traditional journalist background, so I understand the potential conflicts of interest. But there are a lot of influencers who are influenced by the money and products. You should see what my son is showered with every day, boxes after box after box of cooking gear, because he's a cooking influencer. And companies, not just cooking gear, send him lights and cameras and everything. So it's very hard if you're an influencer not to be influenced. It's one of the reasons.
What Taylor Lorenz's book is really about.
Yes.
Is that kind of corruption. They weren't corrupted by the internet. They weren't even corrupted by attention, but they were corrupted by the advertisers' dollars.
Yeah. As a result, what I do, nobody's going to do, but we cut ourselves off. I don't talk to PR people. I don't take loaner products. We really kind of bury ourselves far away. And as a result, a lot of companies I don't have a relationship with Apple, and they don't really like me. Not because I'm more.
Apple is one of the most controlling.
They're
companies
notorious.
When it comes to
right. But I'm not mean about Apple.
Products.
I mean, I love Apple. Yeah. We talk about Apple. Have the #1 Apple podcast. But for some reason, Apple has conceived of me as the enemy, and so
because you're not controllable.
Well, I don't know if that's true. I don't want to, but I'm not I don't want to be influenced by them, and so they've decided, well, you mustn't be an influencer, so we don't need to talk to you. And it's an interesting state of affairs, but I think it does bode poorly for old school media. Sports Illustrated laid off on Friday with a 7-minute Zoom call, laid off almost all of its staff, and then told the rest, well, you can have your job for another 3 months.
Well, it's even more complicated because it was a license deal when Time Inc. was the orphan child, and they sloughed off Time onto Benioff, who just did Layoffs today.
Salesforce.
And Fortune to a Thai businessman, and so on. Sports Illustrated went to a marketing company, which in turn licensed it to this company.
Well, it says Meredith bought Time. Now, Meredith is at least a magazine company.
Well, it was, but then Meredith was sold in turn.
Well, let's go down the line because, they bought it. This isn't long ago, 2017, for $3 billion. 2 years later, Meredith sold Sports Illustrated to Authentic Brands Group.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what Authentic Brands Group does is license brands. In fact, one of the things they're working on is a Sports Illustrated branded hotel in Michigan. That's their business.
Hey, that's authenticity.
That's so authentic. They don't
Every
publish.
room smells like a locker room.
Yeah, they don't publish magazines. So they said, well, look, we don't know anything about this. So we are going to license the Sports Illustrated brand to the Arena Group, formerly known as the Maven, I remember them as the Maven. They own Men's Journal. They own Parade, which used to be like 100 million circulation. It used to be a massive.
Oh yeah,
it was in every Sunday newspaper.
It was the largest magazine in the country. Circulation.
So the Maven.
Do you remember Paris? Did you know Parade?
She doesn't know Parade.
I know Parade. I've seen it.
Parade.
I haven't read it.
Well,
I know of.
It's hard to imagine the circulation of these magazines because they were inserts in your Sunday paper. I wrote for a different one that had like huge 40 million or something, and
the ads were incredibly expensive, like $600,000 a page.
Yeah, because you're hitting everybody. Wow. Now a lot of people that Parade went into the garbage with the rest of the inserts, or the recycling. Let's hope, but I guess enough people read it, and it was just it was a very light magazine. Anyway, they own that. I don't know what Parade is now. I don't see it anymore. So they licensed it, Sports Illustrated, for 10 years from Authentic Brands.
Their final issue was December 31st, 2023.
I mean, this was a magazine. This is right up there with Time and Newsweek, right?
Well, yeah, and the lore. I talked to a writer just last night who started a whole bunch of magazines. Who's writing a piece for Airmail about this. So he called me, and the lore around SI was when it started. There's two different versions of the story. It's either 11 or 14 years before it made a profit, because it was so impossible to imagine a weekly magazine about sports. How could you do this? But it became the writing and the photography and eventually
the swimsuit issue. Let's not,
and the swimsuits. What he told me that the one issue of the swimsuit issue had $35 million in ad revenue.
Wow.
One issue.
It was the first magazine with circulation over 1 million to win the National Magazine Award for General Excellence. Won it twice. Started publishing the swimsuit issue in 1964. It's actually been around, or was around, since 1954. It's older than me. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it had some of the best sports writers in the world writing for it. I mean, some brilliant.
And it fended off other competitors. ESPN tried to do a magazine. It didn't work. The National started. Remember that?
Yep.
It didn't work. SI survived everything except Authentic Brands.
Frank DeFord.
Read Magazine by Jeff Jarvis.
Yeah.
Yes,
learn more about this.
Yeah.
Thank you. It is. I write all about this in magazine. A simple nice little book, almost kind of magazine-y.
It's pocket size.
Now, you may also remember they got in trouble late last year, because they were publishing AI-generated articles with made-up author names. In fact, the CEO was fired because of that. In January of this year, 3 weeks ago, they missed their quarterly licensing payment to Authentic Brands Group. And that's when, January 19th, a couple of days ago, Authentic Brand Group terminated the licensing agreement. That's why, you can't publish a magazine called Sports Illustrated if you don't have that deal. So Arena Group said, we're just going to lay off the entire staff. It's over.
God.
It's stunning. Hey, it's Leo Laporte. I hope you enjoyed this little snippet from our show This Week in Google. For the full show, you can either go to our website, twit.tv/twig, or find Twig in your favorite podcast client. And, of course, there's links right below, somewhere down there, for more information.